shortly. Irving over there in Brooklyn,
Yes, sir.
causing chaos, wanting trades after signing contracts and re-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah,
We had the Baker Mayfield trade.
that's right.
And at 11:30, we're going to have Desmond Johnson. He's going to jump on with us. Desmond Johnson is he's the creator of Tobacco Road Sports Radio. We've been on his podcasts and shows. We've done a bunch with him. We're going to talk a little bit about the Carolina Panthers and that trade and Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Also, the Deshaun Watson watch is on.
So Watson.
Yeah, Mr. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
They had the hearing back at the beginning of the month, and coming to find out, there might not be a decision on that suspension for several weeks. I see.
Yeah.
They're saying that it might, drag on, and it's interesting because you hear everything from he could be suspended for a year, or indefinitely, or 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, it's just such a large.
Yeah. And then I think there was something in the news yesterday that the Texans, or maybe this morning, that the Texans have settled a lot of those lawsuits as well, just to kind of get those out of the way as well.
So if you're in the NFL, I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff being done in terms of that whole process. Like you said, you got settled, 20 out of 24 settled by Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got all of a sudden the Houston Texans jumping in there wanting to pay out. So my thing is, is that a big admission of guilt with all that going
on? You hang around. I mean, I hang around you, so you top notch, and you hang with the big guns. But I'm just curious. People that do business, sometimes you'll hear them say that they'll settle because it saves time and it saves them money in terms of court fees, because the person or the people that are maybe trying to sue them, they're doing it for whatever reason. So we'll pay them a little money to get them out the way. I think that because of the number of cases, it would seem that there's definitely some behavior that is very egregious that's going on, heinous.
Yeah.
But it's settled, and people just want to be able to cheer for their favorite player, and it's amazing how those things happen so quickly. I use myself as an example, so I never try to make myself holier than thou. But if Kobe hadn't been on my team and the stuff that he'd done, and he did some stuff to settle out of court with that, what happened in Colorado, I still wanted my team to win a championship. So you're oftentimes in that weird spot. People that say that they will quit their team, or I'll stop watching the sport. I think it takes more than that for people to do it. It takes, there's other things we can say what it takes, but stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out, because regardless of how many games they give, there's going to be a side that's upset. If they give them too many, or say they suspend them for a year or indefinitely.
Yeah,
there are going to be people that are ticked off that, hey, well, look what they didn't do to the owner of the.
There's something about that.
Yeah, the Washington football team and your boy Kraft up in Patriots. I mean,
they don't even talk about that no more.
Bro, I mean, it never happened. That was like a fart in the wind. That just went away.
It's seriously when you have the things that oftentimes money and power and influence, and sometimes they're not all on the same plane. You can have a lot of influence, but maybe you don't have a lot of money. But you get what I'm saying. But the point is that if you have enough money, like Deshaun Watson, he probably has his number.
Oh, yeah.
We'll settle these for this number, and we'll do that, and then I'll be done with it, right? And we straight. And so some other ones will say, well, I want to come out there with. I think that there's a percentage, right? There's a percentage of. You can talk to somebody, and I'm so bear with me when I say this. I'm not trying to equate to this, but this is an example. You could say something to somebody. I was doing this yesterday. I was I went to help out a friend of mine, and so I was talking to this person about the service that was about to be provided. And so she asked the question. I answered the question. She thought I didn't answer the question good enough, but I answered what she asked me.
Mm-hmm.
I answered what she asked me. And so you can have people that interpret things in different ways. So somebody, a touch, as somebody says, you there was that movie. What was that movie that they accosted me or whatever? But it's you have those different ranges of things. So he had his number, and so he decided to settle out. So it's going to be he just wants to play football.
Well, he got rid of 20 out of the 24. The 4 that are going to take him into the courtroom.
We know. I mean,
You think to yourself, what number could he get to get to them and get this all? But it seems like some
if he's done some
one,
bad
seems
stuff,
like some
if he's
people in
done,
this
should definitely pay for that. And I don't mean pay as in monetarily. You know, I'm sure that there's something that can be with that, but I wonder if those last four are not saying, no, we don't have a number. We want you to say what you did in court, on record, all these things, and be able to therefore hold you accountable in that way. But you know, you just wonder if there are that many people, and if let's say 80% of those are, or 70% or 50%, shoot, just 30% are actual and factual, then you wonder if he's changed his behavior and he's just become more stealth.
Where the smoke, there's fire. We all know that. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. And then we have camps that are going to be opening up in about a week and a half. We're going to have somebody camping up with rookies as soon as the 21st. I saw some 18 different things like that. So we're going to. We're going to get back to that time of year.
Believe in the Arizona.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to be getting into it. So we are in the studio today. Appreciate you hanging out, Easy and Jay, on the Easy Sports Talk Show. Like I said, great show lined up. When we come back, we're going to jump into a little basketball news here in the Valley. And like I said, we're back, man. We're back.
Man, I'm not getting paid though. I know that one. Somebody got paid.
So listen to Easy J on the Easy Sports Talk Show, 1060 AM, KSLX HD channel 100.7. Coming to you live today from the studio. You can catch us on the restream on Facebook. We're out there, all over the place. So I don't know what you got going on later on, man, but anything we're doing out here is going to be inside.
Are you kidding?
We're going to take this break. Be back after these messages. Folks, hope you're having a great start to your weekend.
I'm going to be the one running out in there, man. I'm stupid, man. Are you kidding?
Well, you got Tempe Town Lake in your eyes.
Yeah,
don't you?
Not long, though.
Thanks, Aaron. Oh, let me see. Okay. Yep. Let me send that to you right now, man. there was a watch on Aiden, and
and
he
it started June 30th,
middle of the day, June 30th.
Mhm.
And for the last 2 weeks,
the
question
question
was,
was,
every
because
day, Pacers, it was kind of known, they were out there looking to sign Aiden to
Who leaks it?
max.
Is it the agent? Is it the Pacers? Is it somebody in the Pacers? I'm just curious. I mean, because you've been in those circles, you in those locker rooms and in those clubhouses and stuff. Who leaks it?
That's a good question. I would say probably the agents. They want to get it out there. They want things to be circulating and moving,
Yeah.
and they also want to let everybody, meaning even they want to let the Suns know too, to a certain degree. Hey, Pacers are over here looking around, and what you say? What you gonna do? So Aiden got a $133 max offer from the Pacers. Yeah, $133 million. That's a lot of money, bro.
Yeah,
$133 million max offer from the Pacers, and the Suns had 48 hours to match.
mm-hmm.
They matched immediately. Immediately,
Yes.
they went out and matched that to go ahead and get it in, right?
Mhm.
Right. So the these things that happen with these deals and everything. I'm not privy to know, because I thought, well, they matched it, but you might go ahead and use them as trade bait because we had all these other rumors and different things out there. But unbeknownst to me, let's go through the terms of the deal first. With them matching the deal, they had to everything that was signed by Aiden with the Pacers,
Mhm.
they literally had to match it. So any player options,
Any accelerators, all that stuff.
so they had to match that first. And then come to find out, Aiden can't be traded from the Suns until January 2023.
And he can't be traded to the Pacers for at least a year. And for the next calendar year, Ayton has veto
power. So a lot goes with that, and for me, I did not understand. I thought, you signed, you get him, match the deal, but then you can still do whatever you want. He's power.
Yeah.
He can veto.
At least for a year.
Yeah, at least for a year. You can't send me anywhere I don't want to go. You got to match all my money. It's all guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then once because it's going to be some conversation leading up to the trade deadline or whatever. So when come the 15th of January, who knows? Depends how the season's going.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of talk. My question to you is, now the Suns are kind of backtracking. We're going to see a lot of hugging here now, because now they want everybody to know we never wanted him to go in here anyway. We love DeAndre Ayton. In my opinion, I think you're going to hear a lot of that. And you say
the counter to that is, well, how do we know that they're going to be backtracking? Because I'm just spitballing. So what if Ayton goes in, his agent says we want 5 years at the max. At the max, because that's what you're gonna ask for. You're gonna ask for the max, right? You've been to a job interview, or
no, but what he signed now, that's it. Yeah. Okay.
What if last season?
Okay. Yeah.
His agent says, "Okay, we want the max." And they said, "No."
That's what they did.
Yeah, you're not a max player. We'll give you a max minus X, and that'll be what you get. And he's nah. Watch, when I get out there, they're gonna pay me. And he's all right. Well, go ahead and find something. And so he found something that was the max on that for what a team could give him. And they were thinking, yeah, that's probably right around what we want to pay.
Well, here's the thing: the Suns did a great job last year of internally keeping this all under wraps, because all through the season and winning is a great call. Is a great call too. Anybody knows that, So, but they did a great job, in my opinion, all through the season. And it was like kumbaya. Aiden was out there playing, and then at the very end, in that egg that they laid against the Mavericks, then all of a sudden he gets benched, only plays 17 minutes in that game. He had words with there's Monty's response, it's internal. And they're coming to find out all through the season, he was a little disgruntled. I think he's very disgruntled.
So I was listening up the dial during the week, and one of the fill-in guys that covers the Suns was talking about he went into the archives, some of the interviews and training camp last year, all the way through the season, and there were some different things out. One in which a couple different times where Ayton was saying, D was saying, "Hey, I'm ready to take on more of a role. I'm ready to do more. I'm ready to be more of a offensive
point.
right? But what did you see during the year? A lot of the stuff, and this is people that watch, and feel free to call in and tell me if you think I'm wrong or if you think I'm right. But if you watch the games, they didn't feature him.
Not
It
at
was
all.
dives. He would get stuff. He might get some jobs. Some of those things that would be going on. But what he wouldn't get was, all right, we about to isolate, give him the ball. If he missed a couple of shots, they would go away from him, and that would be frustrating.
Remember in that Dallas series, what did we started off saying he should be dominant in the series because they had nothing to match him on from the Dallas defensive side. And for me, it was this should be a series where I'm not saying you go post him up 30 times in the game, but he should be involved in every pick and roll. You should be dumping it down to him, making them double team him because he's abusing somebody down there, dishing out for the threes. He was basically in his normal role of just roaming. Whenever we can find him, we'll find him. And as a player, as you mentioned, he's like, look, I need more. And they were just like, yeah, we'll get you. We got Devin Booker. We got CP3 running the show.
Here's something, though. He doesn't view himself as a big man in that traditional sense. Like I view that. I think he will be perfect for that.
Yeah.
I think he can. He has a decent elbow jumper, and he wants to shoot the three because all big men want to shoot the threes now. But here's the thing, though. I can remember so many times walking onto a pickup basketball court. Ayo, big, you down low. Nah, dog, I don't want to be down low. I can drive too. Just give me the ball at the elbow, and I can do a jab step and get to it. But they already put me. There's already a disconnect. Right?
Yeah,
and I think that's what you're going to have happen because now he wants to whom much is given, much is expected, right?
Yeah.
So if he is getting paid more, he wants to. Well, if you pay me this, you matched it. If you pay me this, then if I'm the number 3 option, I want to be a number 3 option, not like the number 3 option. Where you get some points and whatever, but it's really about Book and it's about CP3. Nah, I want in on this. Man.
We're going to get to that in the next segment because I want to dive deeper into that. I was just like you. I always the big man when I was playing in high school and stuff like that. But after I got out, I used to try to keep in shape. Doing football, off seasons and even my baseball season. I used to love to go to YMCA's and stuff like that. I used to always shock him because I was 6'4", but that's considered a big dude in most pickup games. Yeah, and I would get the rock man, and I would be like, I'm down there. I'd say you pay, and I would be out running fast breaks and stuff. And I remember one time, you remember one time I ran, I got a rebound, and I took it all the way up the hole and something fancy. A dude running back up the court, he's like, that's a damn shame. You're too big to be doing stuff like that. See? I was, but you have to prove it to him. But the thing with Ayton, he's kind of stuck in the middle because stuck in the he's not the traditional big man as you mentioned, but his range isn't that of say because Embiid surprises me sometimes. Embiid has what I would call consistent range. Jokic, real ugly looking, but he's got that range.
Ugly as heck, but he'll ball me.
Luka. These dudes are like lethal from out there. Ayton is still. He's like you said. He's got a great mid-range game. If you use elbow on the kind of stretch elbow that thing, he doesn't have that. In my opinion, maybe he works on it. He's not a dude you put out there on the 3-point line and just let him.
Saying, though, maybe.
That's in his mind. He might say.
That's true. I'm not discounting what you're saying, but think about it this way. Let's say he gets to practice all last season. Before the season began, in the off season, he was practicing shooting threes and doing some different stuff. And then, hey, coach, see what I'm doing here? Get to do these dives, get these pick and rolls. I can do more. Yeah, you can do more of these dives and do more of these pick and rolls. And that's what, where becomes the frustration because you're not letting me grow. You're trying. What do you always hear about? Whether it's in any, especially in football and basketball, and correct me if I'm wrong, we got to get him going a little early so he's more engaged on whatever on the defensive end, and I think that's probably where you'll get even more out of him. He'll get to that ceiling, higher to that ceiling, if you get him involved offensively, then he might really be a more of a benefit on the defensive end as well.
You ever had a teacher that you just got off to a bad start with,
Yeah.
and they just pigeonholed you, and they just want to stay on you? This is kind of, I think the relationship with Monty and between Monty and Aiton has gotten to a point. We're going to talk about this when we come
He's
back.
been really encouraging of that. He
been-
encourages him. If you see, if you there again, I think over the last
There's
couple
some
weeks, you heard some-
bitterness now.
it might be because you get upset. I think it's the recency bias. Right?
Yeah,
When you're
yeah.
going for a performance review, well, last week, well, no, what have I been doing the last 11 months? And you have, because of that blow up, they think that therefore is indicative of whatever it is. But think about if I've been encouraging you for months and years, and then there's a blow up, and that's the result.
We'll pick it up on the backside of this. You're listening to Easy and Jay on Easy Sports Talk. KDUS 1060 AM, KS Lounge 2, 100.7. Hope you're having a great weekend so far, folks. We'll be back after these messages.
Yeah.
Thanks, Aaron. And Aaron, always remember, you can jump in whenever you want. You ruined my surprise. You ruined my surprise. Mhm. Yeah, I like that flavor right there, man. Praise. There you go. Hey, welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. This segment right here is brought to you by
Majestic Services. Contact Majestic Services to do all the dirty work around your home or business. Majestic Services will pressure wash your driveways, awnings, pool decks, sidewalks, and more. Call Majestic Services at 602-614-9401. Again, that's 602-614-9401, or go to majesticservices.net for your free no obligation quote today.
So as we went to break, we were talking a little bit about the Ayton match. Or the Suns matched the $133 million contract with the Pacers, the offer sheet. That's out there. So he's here, and I would ask, is he here? Is he going to be here reluctantly? Because you and I, and that could lead up to maybe a possible trade after January 15th. But we were talking during the break. I'm not going to say he's. Well, I will say he was unhappy toward the end because he was not. He felt he wasn't being utilized.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question: What? And Aaron, you can jump in here too. What has changed because they matched the money? They kept him. And here's the thing: you got to remember. One of the big reasons they kept him is because they couldn't figure out a sign and trade. They would have lost him for absolutely nothing. So rather than lose him, they keep him. And it's almost like I've been in situations before. You don't really want to be with her, but you also don't want your homie to be with her, right? So it's like, man, if you don't answer the prom, he is, right? So yeah, you want to go to the prom. So they brought him back. He's not actually all that happy. Right. I'll ask both of you.
You guys got thoughts on that, Aaron? All right. So here's the thing. So once you realize that there is somebody's coming back, and oftentimes the salary is what will dictate kind of what you do. You know that the way that you get into the season is not the way in which you want to. We'll talk about Kevin Durant possibilities and how realistic that might be later on. But you have to give him a bigger role, because you need to be able to weather the storm when Chris Paul can't play again. I say if. I said one, whether it's from 5 games, whether it's from 2, whether he has a swoon. So you have to give him more responsibility. It's just kind of like learning how to parent a little bit differently. I parented my son Elijah. Then I realized I got to do it a little bit differently to get the result. And so that's it's worked wonders, because I started to change and then increase my expectation along the way. So he knew what he was signing up for. He knew he could have just decided to go into unrestricted free agency next year and just sign like a offer and then just kind of go let it go like that. But then that's really a big really I think that he's not enough to what he signed up for. They'll figure it out.
How about you, Aaron?
Yeah,
but here's the thing: the structure of Phoenix Suns, and it also runs through Devin Booker, who I will throw this out. You
gonna chop down Booker?
No. On July 7th, Booker signed a supermax contract for $224 million, 4 years. Right? They gave him his money with the quick. So is there like if you're
I'm gonna tell you what I was gonna say after the
break. Aaron, do you have siblings? Okay. Have you ever been in a situation where you're younger, right? And they say it's a birthday or something, or grandma or something, and they call your little brother or sister over. Hey, I got you something. And they give them like this big old box and it's wrapped, and they open this beautiful present up. And oh, by the way, Eddie, come over here. I got something for you too. There's some raggedy old whatever. There is some resentment there a little bit. Am I right or wrong? And in this situation, last year they could have just as easily. Hey, DeAndre, we know it's time. We're gonna give you things. Here you go. Instead, they make that man work for it, and then
that's how I derail the segment. No, because it's with Booker for whatever reason, maybe because he was the shining star on a terror when the Suns were at the bottom. And the only reason that they started to give him that shine is because the team was bad, right? The team was bad. They drafted him, they didn't expect him to play a lot. I think there was an injury, if I'm not mistaken. I think it might have been TJ Warren, if I'm not mistaken, at that time. And so he ended up getting a lot of shine. So they just gave it to him because why not? Now when you're a title contender, you're trying to say, well, we want you to do a little bit, DeAndre. And DeAndre said, but I can do so much more. And it goes to what we were talking about with Pay being kind of that through point with expectations. But if I'm making $12 an hour, but I got $1 million trying to come out here and ball, and you push me and help me to learn so I can get to that $1 million, so that $1 million mentality can come to fruition. I'm just saying. They I think some of the things that they were doing when they were trying to hold him, he wants to be all over the place, and they just need to say, all right, we get you up to this level, we just got to hone it just a little bit. Maybe use Embiid as the benchmark.
What about, because DeAndre Ayton, because I didn't think there was any possibility the Suns were going to match the contract. I think a lot of people thought that. I guarantee you, DeAndre thought that as well. He started getting his mind right for, hey, the Pacers are coming after me. The Pacers want me. The Pacers are going to use me. And you start getting excited about that. A new location. Well, I'm just saying, this is going to be your new home. They got a spot for you ready to make you shine. Then the Suns can pull you back because they had that right.
He has a right to be disappointed, but based upon how the rules are, you knew going in, but I can't imagine how maybe deflating is probably, I was going to say frustrating, but maybe deflating it would be. Okay, man, we're about to do it. Okay. I don't want to leave my boys over here, but this is going to be a good opportunity.
Man, we're going to
sign it. 5 minutes later, don't get on the play. We're not doing it.
Up until this point in the offseason, do you think DeAndre, and I'll ask you this too, Adam, do you think has had any contact with Suns front office and Monty? Because in his mind, he was thinking, I'm out of here. You think he had any contact with anybody?
Yeah. I would
so he was out. In his mind, he was out. And then they pull him back in. I've been in situations.
For my body.
I've been in situations where I did not want to be there. Now, DeAndre knew he had, after they didn't sign to the extension, in his mind, he was like, okay, I'm going to play this out. Nice and cool. I'm out of here. Now the possibility is he could be here. They don't find a trade spot for him on the 15th.
It's crazy, though, because the way I just try to put it in, how I learn is when I would be in my marketing classes and I would try to equate everything to music because that would help me to be able to better relate. They're talking about, concrete companies, and I'm thinking, okay, how does that relate to music, right? So just think if you work for Acme company, you say, Acme, I want you to pay me more money. They say, nah. I said, well, man, my contract's coming up. Just pay me. Just see what you can go find. So you find, Beta Company 2, and Beta Company 2 to pay you this. You go to Acme and say, cool. You said you didn't want to pay me. I'm out. Hold on. Not so fast. We'll match that, and you may stay. and then what you have to work through with that. It will be different if you didn't maybe ownership is not the key, but maybe it's James Jones and it's Monty that are the ones you say, well, I like my coworkers. I just didn't like the fact that they wasn't willing to pay me what I wanted. Well, we all want things that we maybe aren't. We all want things. Wanting and deserving are two different things, and it just depends upon how that works, man.
I tell you what's coming up. We're going to have the press conference coming up here soon. Everybody's going to be sitting at the table, and Monty's going to be smiling. DeAndre's going to be smiling. James is going to be smiling. Everybody's going to be happy, and they're going to want to put on a good face. But I'm guaranteed, I'm going to be. I don't watch a lot of press conferences. Yeah, we might even get this one to go that one because I want to get up close and personal. And Aaron, if you have a possibility to get that, because I want to see. I'm going to be looking at faces, man. I'm looking for twitches. I'm looking for eyes. Roll for everything. Because I do think this is not going to be.
Blink once if you're happy, blink twice if you're depressed.
I'm just telling you, I just got that feeling that this is going to be not as smooth and happy as everybody, because we got DeAndre and we won them all along. My question is, okay, You didn't sign him?
You didn't sign him
Last year when you had
last
the
year.
chance? You know, it's like the first time. And even when the season ended, you could have.
What if they were honest and said, because he wanted too much money then. He wanted too much money. We wanted to pay him $30 million less. Now we got to add what we wanted. There we go.
Try that.
You want the car, right? You want the car. They say they want you to pay $50,000, right?
I want you to go home and try that with Nika tonight. Just anything,
I
anytime.
love my wife. My wife is my hero.
Babe, come here. I got something to tell you. Calling me up, talking about, Ed, I need a place to stay for the night. Hey, we're going to take a break. We'll be back. You listen to Easy J on Easy Sports Talk. So KUS 1060 KSLX HD channel 2.7 Aaron behind the glass. We'll be back after these messages, folks. Hope you have a great start to your weekend.
Are you kidding?
Thanks, Aaron. Ed Smith, joined by my brother,
Flag.
Mr. Javon, a.k.a. J Love.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this segment right here is brought
Oh, yeah. Casual Sports Radio Network, KSRNAZ.com is your destination for latest updates and in-depth coverage of your Arizona sports teams, including all things Arizona Cardinals. For the Bird Gang fan base, visit casualsports.com. That's KAZUALSPORTZ.com for feature articles, great podcasts, such as the repurposing of Easy Sports Talk, Believe in the Arizona Cardinals, as well, and the music programming like Microphone Masters and more.
So as I mentioned, we had the DeAndre Ayton signing, but this busy offseason, a lot of things going back and forth. We had out of nowhere, right around free agency opening up, KD and Kyrie Irving over in Brooklyn, basically wanting, KD decided a 4-year extension. Kyrie opted back in, I think $37 billion or whatever it was this year, and then immediately both of them want to be traded, and it was like, what the heck? So and then KD threw a little caveat out there. I want to be traded, and I want to go to either Miami or Phoenix. So
And
we
then
just
immediately, I got this message from my son, from my oldest son, to FaceTime. Dad, we about to get KD.
now there was some excitement there, but for me, I was thinking, to get him, what would you have to give up?
Cost, yes.
And what happened was Rudy Gobert got traded from Utah to Minnesota, and they basically
That dude is a legend. That people don't. If you get a call, it's like getting a call from like a Jerry West. You don't want to pick it up. No. Bill Belichick, because you know something's wrong. If you get a call from Danny Ainge, just don't answer, man, because he's about to fleece you.
You about to get got. So what happened with let me see, I had here in my notes. The Utah got like 4 picks, and 4 players as well. All for Rudy Gobert. What they did, that upset the market though. Because everybody's like, wait a minute, you got what for Rudy Gobert? So imagine the price for a KD or Kyrie. So I saw something where the Nets, they turned down, or no, somebody offered Knicks for your boy Mitchell. They wanted 6 draft picks and like 4 or 5 players. That's just stupid. That's crazy. But the thought was, okay, what are we going to give up for KD if that's even a possibility? Because they want. If you look at what they got for Gobert, you're like, well, for KD, you might as well just let us come in, and we're not even going to ask you to take what we want. Right. That type of thing. So my question to both of you is if the Ayton signing, it pretty much kibosh on us getting KD, are you relieved or disappointed that we're still not in that kind of, hey, we could possibly get KD?
I'm not. I mean, I guess I'm relieved to a certain extent because I think I see what could happen if that came to fruition. But what do you think, Aaron?
Well, when there was speculation that Kevin Durant was going to the Phoenix Suns, I was on the bandwagon that I give up that.
Okay.
I don't care so much about the draft stock that a team may give up, but giving up players.
Yeah.
I felt was going to be an issue if you wanted to go through a playoff
Right.
run. One thing I would say, I don't think that the Suns out of the KD race yet. I still think that they have a chance of getting out from GA, but I think they have players like Kel Bridges, Keith Johnson, all these players and draft picks that they can use.
Is that enough though?
And real quick, and he brings up Aaron brings up a great point that because draft picks are you want to have draft, you don't want to never have draft picks.
We didn't even have one in this past.
So after a while, because where you finish is going to be so. In theory, the way it is, your record should be so good that those draft picks should be like in the bottom of the first round and all that type of stuff. So there's definite value in terms of what he's saying there. But when you're giving up players, so you get KD, but then you give them, as you mentioned with the young core that they have, so there's going to be 2 or 3 of those plus draft picks, so the draft picks or whatever. But then so now KD's here, and you got 4 players. Okay.
Also,
you see what I'm saying? And out with just random.
KD
players.
changes the dynamic of your organization and team as well. I mean, I wouldn't call him like a player. He's not a leader. You bring him in. Now you have passive aggressive. Right now we've got a pretty good roster of guys who other than disgruntled Ayton.
KD
You
is
gotta-
the type
you gotta-
to sit in a meeting and say, some people in here, they don't like to pass the ball. You just say who it is. I don't know. It's just some people, though. What? No, just say who it is. I don't know. I'm going to tweet it, though.
I myself am very happy that,
and
you say
there's still a chance
for him, but I myself am very happy that is a small chance rather than still, because before the NBA signing, it was hugely thought that he might come here. Now, maybe, but I'm not coming this way.
Here's what it could look like. And this is remember when LeBron went to Miami?
Mhm.
And they, in order to make those three, and it was different because they signed, they didn't get traded. So of course there weren't all these assets, but Miami had to pretty much let go of everybody, and then say, "All right, here's what it is," and then try to fill it out with the minimum contract folks around them, and be able to try to do that. But they were really at the height of their power, so that's different. Chris Paul is not, and Durant is definitely still high caliber, and they have Ayton. So that then it will require Ayton to really step in and be that number 3, and Chris Paul to drop to a number 4, so that it just really facilitates, so that he doesn't have to carry the whole weight. But then again, the NBA is the talent level is very deep when you think about these potential playoff teams, and it's just not a given.
For me, if I'm the Nets, if Booker's not in that trade, I'm not even picking up the phone. But I'm saying, so that's for me is a no-go, because I don't think they kind of stapled him as the franchise guy.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way possible that they would put him in that trade. But if I'm the Nets, the first thing I'm saying is, okay, is Booker in the trade? No, there's no conversation.
There's no conversation
He
there.
is on that level. And you're so
Getting KD for like for Mikal Bridges would be like saying, all right, so we're gonna let you. We're gonna let Drake go to your record label, and we'll take Javon. What? No, wait. Nah, dog. Nah, what? No. But Bridges is much.
Oh, yeah,
better
well,
at basketball.
yeah, no, but like I said, if the conversation starts with Booker, if he's not in that trade, as far as I'm concerned, the Nets aren't even listening.
Yeah.
And let's just jump to something else real quick. We only got a few minutes left. The Kyrie Irving situation, he wants to go to LA. There's nobody else in the kind of bidding war. Let me ask you a question. Your boy LeBron is kind of not about signing an extension for next year. You think he's using that as leverage? I mean,
I don't. Yeah, maybe he is, but here's the thing: when your results are such that, all right, you gave us a championship, so you brought us a championship, which is great. So I'm not belittling that. But if you gave us a championship, and then everything else is not making the playoffs or getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs, your leverage goes down each time that happens, because you're performing at a high level. You brought these dudes on. We gave you you're the one that wanted Westbrook.
Yeah.
We got Westbrook, and then now you don't want to chop it up with him. It's the same thing that's happening with Kyrie, and maybe not to that extent, but with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Meaning, sometimes your partners you don't want to work with all your partners, right? And I think that's what he found out. I don't my boy, we can go vacation, we can talk, we can share life advice. I just don't want to work with you. I don't want to work with you. And Kyrie probably will end up with the Lakers, because there's smoke that says that. But at what cost again?
Well, yeah. I just LeBron toward the end of his career here. You're talking about it'll never dash his legacy, but the way he is going about his business and kind of taking over these organizations, and we always joke about it, but Thanos James, he's leaving sports behind him. And I don't know, at this point in time, like you said, you went out and you made the organization get Westbrook when they had other things in mind. You don't want to take any responsibility for that, and just that fast. I want Kyrie. I want to play with Kyrie. Yeah. And where are you guys heading, man? Because it does not look good.
Michael Jordan is by many accounts the best player that ever played basketball. Right? They didn't let him make decisions.
No.
Krause said Michael Jordan famously wanted, I think, Brad Sellers or something. Not Brad Sellers, but it was like players that ended up being busts. Like he said, he wanted the Bulls to draft. They said, nah, we don't get
you-
Pippen. I don't want that guy. And it worked out. So that's the thing. Sometimes you just have to, whether it's you give them the input and tell me what you think, tell me how you feel. Thank you. We're gonna do what we're gonna do, whatever it is. But yeah, some of that.
After 6 sips, Kraus was like, "Yeah, I'm done with this. I'm breaking this up." 6 championships,
Yeah.
and I mean, you could continue to Kraus, but Kraus,
That's
that's his.
hubris. Yeah.
I mean, he wanted to make let everybody know it's my team. I run this show, and you see where it got him
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
But he literally broke the band up for no good reason
We
at all.
have a clear definition
Yeah.
of roles.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can give me your input, and we'll take that in and put it in the calculation. Now, where it fits in the algorithm might be smaller, but still.
Well, even the fact that LeBron, like he's planning his career out. Yeah, I'm playing with Bronny. I'm just letting everybody know. Like this son is not even. There's no guarantee he's even going to get to the league. I'm playing with Bronny. I guess so. In the G League, maybe. Hey, 1 hour down. Hey, 1 hour down is going by that fast. We're having fun here in the studio. KDUS 1060 AM, KSLX channel 100.7, listening to the Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed, Devon behind the glass. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. If you're out here in Arizona, it's hot as what? Yeah. We'll be back after these messages, folks. Thanks, Aaron. Right back. And welcome back, hour 2 of the Easy Sports Talk Show. Show's
Yeah,
flying by, man. And we got a whole bunch of people checking us out on Facebook. Brother Ron Harden, he just sent me a text. I know PLR is out there somewhere. So hello to everybody, all my East Coast peeps, Michelle, Coach Mills, et cetera, et cetera. Eli Watson, appreciate you hanging out with us. This segment right here is wrong. This fool sitting here doing the James.
Colt Artisan Beverage Company, the official beverage company of the Easy Sports Talk Show, one of the first to launch nitrogen-infused coffee. They offer everything from specialty coffees to a botanical infusion line of caffeine and sugar-free brewed beverages. Call Colt Artisan Beverage Company at 623-434-0939 or visit ilovecolt.com for more information.
So as we mentioned, a whole lot of stuff going on during this supposedly quiet summer. One, we're creeping toward training camp, as I mentioned. The players are all trying to soak up those last few days of freedom before they come back into camp. And then once you come back, man, that's it. I mean, next you know, it's January or February if you're lucky. You're still playing football. There's no, you got your one bye week, one off day during
How'd
the
you
week.
do this 2-a-days and sometimes those 3-a-days, man? I told you I was outside yesterday doing some stuff, and I run, and I felt like a fool. And you doing it, and I was only out there running for like 20 minutes.
We were imagine this, fully padded, Swanee, Georgia, 95 degrees with
man,
90% humidity, and you're fully padded.
man.
I'm talking from head to toe, our full pad. You guys nowadays put shells on and stuff like that, light shells and pads. We were fully padded, like we were going to a game. And then forget those days, like when we would have those game weeks when they brought other teams in.
Mhm.
So now you're in full hand combat against the other team, and you can find a favor with somebody on your team. Hey, bro, give me a little trouble. Let's do this one at 75%. That type of thing. When the other team in a different color comes in and we're doing those 2 days against them,
Yeah.
oh man, it's every man for himself, God for us all. So like I said, the Cardinals are off right now. They'll be back. I think rookies come in July 21st. Only 5 days from Veterans report on the 26th. And the report says, from all intents and purposes, that Kyler Murray's contract is being worked out. So they're happy. They're thinking he's going to be coming. And it's all thinking, but we'll see if he can. Like if they don't put pen to paper, is he coming in still? Which I'm assuming, like I said, they're saying everything's moving forward, so he should be here, and we'll have a happy quarterback because he's going to get paid. But do you anticipate him being here, and do you anticipate the Cardinals putting that 35, 40 some odd million out there on the table for him?
In terms of the money, I'm 50-50 on that in terms of whether he'll be signed by the time he gets there. But I don't think he'll hold out because if I'm not mistaken, I think the rules of the collective bargaining agreement is that before it was if you missed and you're getting fined for all these, and so let's say it amounts to $200,000, they would just say, forget it, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But they can't do that anymore now, from what I understand. Do you understand that as well? Okay, yeah, because I think that's the case. So if that's the case, I'm not just losing money to lose money. I might.
But that would be a bad
because you shared with me
fool.
one time when you were at training camp, and there was a gentleman that we ain't gonna say no names because I don't know if the statute of limitations is going out, but the gentleman hurt himself in the off season.
Yeah.
He came, and then he said, "All right, I'm going down tomorrow,
Going down.
right?" And so he might just be one of those. Man, I don't know. This hamstring feeling a little tight. Man.
If everything's moving smoothly, I would hope that he would, because they're talking about some big money. You're talking about 40 plus million, extension on to what he already is getting. So we'll see how that all plays out. I got something for you both here, though. ESPN did a top quarterback. This is really interesting here. And, we don't like the list. We don't like the list.
Yeah, the list, it helps, though, sometimes.
Yeah.
It helps you get you through.
Well, this one was kind of interesting. This is ESPN, league executives, coaches, scouts, players. They compared their top. And interestingly enough, and with all the talent in the world and all, Kyler Murray was not in their top 10, along with Lamar Jackson. I'll run down the list for you because that number pretty interesting. Dak Prescott. So number 7 gets you. Where's my seat? Okay, here it is right here. So top 10 list of quarterbacks. Let's you want to go top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
Okay, top to bottom. That means Dak Prescott at 10. Sean Watson, interesting enough, who hasn't played in a full calendar year and might not even play this year with the suspension. He was at 9. Russell Wilson at 8. Justin Herbert at 7. Matthew Stafford 6. Joe Burrow 5. Tom Brady 4. Josh Allen 3. Patrick Mahomes 2. And Aaron Rodgers 1. So if you listening to me run down that list, you've got Lamar Jackson, who won an MVP just a few years ago, 2019, I think it was. And according to everybody in the world, Kyler Murray has as much talent in his left pinky than half the guys on this list, but he couldn't make top 10. What's real interesting to me is what are they factoring in? Is it just ability? Or we all know what his performance was on in the playoffs last year, and he's constantly getting hurt toward the end of 2 years.
I think that more so. The playoff thing, I can kind of take or leave the playoff. I mean, how he responded to that playoff during the game, yeah. But everybody has it. I mean, you want your first time in the playoffs to be a great showing.
My thing is Dak Prescott at 10 and Deshaun Watson, who hasn't played in over a year and could possibly not play this year, at 10 and 9.
If he don't play this year, he'll be up to 8.
I guess so. But I'm really curious. Part of the issue with some of the executives and people looking, his leadership skills are, in my opinion, are zero. That might factoring every because talent-wise, golly, he's more talented than at least 3 or 4 guys on this list. I mean, he throws a pretty ball. Now his stature, that's something you can't necessarily factor it in. He's tiny, but he does get the job done on the field.
Somebody quote Ed.
He's of small stature, but
hey, Aaron, you stood next to Kyler Murray. Are you taller than Kyler Murray?
how tall are you?
Okay,
yeah, you're much taller. I'm serious.
You sound like you're 5'4", dog.
Yeah, you've seen him standing next to those linemen out there. You've seen him standing out there. I don't even what. Did you look up and say what they have him officially listed at? Because I'm guessing.
Okay, so Aaron,
5'8".
You like 6'1". Is he 5'10"? Is he 5'10"? That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Okay. No worries. I ain't trying to put Aaron on because Aaron got to go out there and talk to them, and they say, "Hey, I heard about you roll with them sports talk dudes. What's up with that, man? Throw up your set."
They must have had him. When they get his official, he must have been on his tippy toes on a piece of wood. I'm thinking 5'8" and some change, maybe 5'9".
Yeah.
Regardless, so let's give him his 5'10".
Yeah,
Okay,
he's supremely talented. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
You can, like I said, some of the argument for me is like Dak is a great leader. But I think he's of average talent. If you ask me, I think Kyler has much more talent than he does. He's more mobile. He throws a prettier ball. Mechanically, he just seems more fluid. When we beat them in the playoffs last, no, we beat them in the playoffs. Somebody beat the Cowboys to exit them out last. Whatever it was, because we took our beating against the Rams. But this list to me is
the Justin Herbert thing. I don't know. I think it's wow. He has all the tools. He's one of the top 10, as opposed to. I mean, he's what? This is be his third year. Again, it's not as if you have to pay your dues before you become. I mean, I think the word "great" is tossed out there way too much, but a really good quarterback. I mean, Joe Burrow. I get it. You've been on the Joe Burrow bandwagon, or
a little bit,
more than I have. I mean, I'm not sure, but I think Lamar Jackson. I mean, we see his value. We see how he. I heard Bomani Jones saying this just yesterday, talking about how he really does lift. He lifts.
He's got a lot of people taking shots at him right now, though. And there's one dude I can't remember. He's probably just doing it for clicks. He's talking about how no wide receivers want to go play with Lamar Jackson because he's more of a runner than a passer. That type of thing. That's getting a lot of air and talk out there right now. And like I said, we're only 2+ years removed from this dude being the MVP of the league. Now, his playoff success has been rough. He's had a rough go of it. I think he's 1-3 in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So you can hold that. But again, Kyler Murray's 0-1. But then you look at Dak Prescott, he hasn't done anything in the playoffs. Yeah. Burrow has. Herbert has not even gotten there yet. like I said, and I know the conversation we started out talking about Murray. My question was kind of based around the fact that are they holding a little bit of his leadership or lack of leadership qualities against them in the overall evaluation?
So if you feel that he's top 10, then you got to pay him that money, right?
Not necessarily. Well, here's the thing: I pay him what I think he's worth, not just because of what the market kind of says. That, and I think that's the
But
problem.
doesn't the market kind of dictate? That's the messed up thing, especially with Watson. With Watson messing that contract, messing everything up.
I think where the
That
NFL
guaranteed money is
I think where the NFL's gotten itself in serious trouble is that over the years it's like, well, we paid him this, so we got to pay this guy. It's like next man up. Next man, well, we gave such and such 190 million, so we got to give him at least 191.
I agree with you. It shouldn't be like that, but for some reason that is the way in which they've decided to go about it.
And once you open that bag up, it's hard to close it back up, and that's what's happening. And now we see what's happening with Deshaun with that fully guaranteed, and all these guys are looking around, and it's just going to get worse and worse.
You can ask for that 230 guarantee. Don't mean I got to give it to you.
Well, somebody stupid enough will, though. It's just one of those things that continue to happen.
If I was Deshaun Watson, I would thank my agent every day.
Yeah.
We're gonna just ask him for a guaranteed $230 million. See what they say. I'll call you back.
Hey, we're gonna take
They
this
say
break.
yes.
Take this break. Be back after these messages, folks. Hope you're having a great Saturday so far. Easy and Jay, Easy Sports Talk Show. We'll be back after this.
Are you kidding?
Dun, 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 dun.
Or call 480-827-1111. Again, congratulations to Milano Music, and here's to the next 75 years.
Says I'm in the show, but I don't see myself. You see me?
Yeah, I see.
Oh, okay.
It's not the camera though.
It's just this. Well, let me go out and come back in.
Cool.
Yeah, but look at yourself sometimes like, And welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Two of your hits today on the show, man. I like when you mix them in there. You know I love that.
Yes, sir.
This segment right here is brought to you by
True Narrative Media. True Narrative Media understands in today's world the visual aspect of media is extremely effective in growing your business and expanding your brand awareness. True Narrative Media specializes in telling your unique story, providing a wide range of video services for companies and businesses of all sizes. For more information, call 623-335-0735 or visit TrueNarrativeMedia.com. And you're doing some stuff
So-
with True Narrative too, right?
So if a tree falls in the woods, does it make it sound? I ask. It's like, and I hate talking about it like this, but baseball has been going on all summer long, and we talk about it, but we kind of hit the fringes of it. We've spent a show and a first half of the show and a segment finally getting to baseball.
Yes.
And we like to support our local team and everything, but it still doesn't have. We talked about NBA free agency off season, and then we just went through football. Now we're getting to baseball. To me, it's like something's wrong with baseball and their marketing because season is going on, and they're 90 games in now, heading to 162, and. Okay. The All-Star break is coming up. There'll be a little buzz because of the home run hitting contest. They'll have the All-Star game, and then we'll get back to the finish of the season.
Yeah, what's his name? Casual E, and said, "You want to go to the All-Star game?" And I was thinking, "Yeah,
It's in LA. Yeah. You imagine trying to get in and out of there? Oh, but the Diamondbacks are cruising along at 39-51. When we left, they were still hovering in the conversation of wild card and near that 500 mark, and they just had
heard a stat that might interest you though.
What's that?
So is your when you're trying to grow, because you've been in those clubhouses.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you go through growing pains in order to be able to kind of get over the hump. As they like to say, a cliche. Would you agree with that? Sometimes it takes some experience to do that.
Yeah.
So what is it? I think it was over the last 13 games or something along those lines. There was a stat that their average margin of victory or defeat was 1.62 runs. So it's one of those things where you're close, but you just can't. You can't like a pitch here and there, or you can't get enough offense to be able to try to get over the hump. If you're able to get, it's like a team that has a breakout season in football, and they're winning all these close games, whereas they weren't winning these close games before. I don't know.
So basically, just saying they're only losing by a little. That's basically what you're saying. Which is encouraging. I'm just saying I guess that's encouraging, but they're still
trying to uplift it. Like I was trying to tell my mom to do.
39-51. They're now last in the division. Even the Colorado Rockies have passed them.
Yeah.
And they're just in a rough division right now. 20.5 back the Dodgers, 8.5 back with the wild card. So with several teams,
they're definitely going to be sellers.
We thought if they kind of hung around, and maybe not sellers, maybe they would just be holders where they just held on. Now,
he's trying to get one of those big contracts off the team.
Yeah. And like I said, they got a series of. We're playing the Padres right now. We lost the first one last night. Like I said, going into the All-Star break, last game of the. I guess we'll call it the first half will be on Sunday. They'll have a few days off. Like I said, 20.5 back at this point. And I would have been encouraged if we were still hovering around 500. That to me, that would be like that was our goal for the season. Now you're looking at a season. Last year we won 52 games. You're looking at maybe about 65 or so, maybe 70 games this year. But that means you still lose 90 plus. So
there's a stat that you have on the run sheet that is the one that really sticks out to me.
What's that?
Which one of those? You put 3 stats from their MLB rankings up there. So you have batting, pitching, and fielding percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you think is?
The ERA, the pitching,
the batting average.
Oh yeah,
is something that sticks out to me.
As a team, we're hitting 223 overall as a team. That's 28th in the league out of 30 teams.
Yeah.
That's, you're not going to win a lot of games unless pitching is just dominating. And
how many games can great fielding keep you in or get you prepared put you in for winning? Because the fielding errors percent, 0.982. So that's 23rd in fielding.
24th, actually. Yeah.
24th. Okay.
Mhm.
So what is that? Like, I'm just I'm not trying to put you on the spot for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
exact number, but like for example, if you look
A
at
great
if you
defensive
look at a
team.
great manager in baseball, how many games do they influence, give or take? I've heard between 1 to 3
In a
in a
season,
season.
more. It's more.
It's
A
more
good
than
manager,
that.
good manager. No, like for instance, well, here's the thing. Here's the problem, Jay.
Okay.
Now analytics rules the game.
Right.
So a manager is even less of a factor because he's being told for the most part what to do. In this situation, you did is your pitcher, he's going through the lineup twice. You can't let him go through third time, so you got to go up there and get him, even though he hasn't only thrown like 80, 85 pitches. Those are the decisions a manager used to make. This dude is dealing today. He might be at 90 pitches. I can get another inning or two out of him. I'm going to let him go because he is. But no, the numbers say now. You got to go get it. Got to go. Or we have to shift against this guy, or we have to walk this guy. Or all these things are being told to you now.
Yeah.
And nobody's stealing bases. Nobody's hitting and running. These are all the things that managers used to. Oh my God, I used to love aggressive managers. When they would tell us, after. They would even sometimes, hey Ed, if you get on, look, because I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get you running. And that's big me. That's big me now is too much. But when I was playing balls, 230 pounds when I was as a third baseman, 220 in that range. My manager sometimes tell me after today. And that was aggressive. Now, my role today would be go up, strike out, or hit a home run. That's your goal. Your goal. That's the manager has his hands tied behind his back. So your question is,
Error percentage.
now fielding that can either win you a bunch of games during the year or lose you a bunch of games. I'm talking multiples. You have no idea how many times a play is made 2 outs, 2 men on, ground ball, routine ground ball, somebody boots it. You know how many times that turns the floodgates are open. You look up and the pitcher's giving up 4 or 5 unearned runs. There were so many times I'd be out there third and just a routine play or something, I'll boot one or pull the first baseman off the bag or something like that. 2 outs, okay, let's just get one more. Let's get, boom, next, gap, double in the gap. These guys are just running around the base. Next dude comes up, oh, there goes a long ball. You just cost us 4 or 5 runs just that quick. By that one little error. That's what. Think about it. 162 games, and the Diamondbacks, they got 58 errors on the field. You would have to go through and review how many of those cost the team, but over the course of the year, man, it extrapolates way out.
Okay.
Fielding is so important, and it's very rarely people will look at it like it's not that big a deal. You look at that column at the end, the ease. If you got multiples, I doubt if you won that game.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense.
and I got a question for you and Aaron here, as far as our manager. We only got a couple minutes left here, but Torrey's on a deal that takes him through 2022 with the club option for 23. And with what the Diamondbacks are doing right now with this roster that I could say is not expected to do much at all. They're 39-51, 5th in the division. What do you do with Torrey at this point? I mean, do you extend him? Do you keep him, or is he going to be the scapegoat, you think?
I think part of it is a scapegoat. What do you think, Aaron? Yeah. Right. Yeah, I hope they do as well. I just wonder if they're kind of setting him up to say, well, we just need a new voice.
That's it. Right? That's what they do, and it's going to be an unfair thing because, like I said, you ask this man to
Get through this. What you call it?
do
Be
this.
all right. You get through. Well, there's some obstacles. There's some milestones, right? So that you get through the All-Star break.
But here's the question. I know we only got a minute or so left, but how do you if you plan to keep him around? Do you keep giving him these 1 year extensions?
That would be insulting, right?
To me, it would be. You either want me or you don't. And at this point, with what you've given me to work with, you're going to tell me, Torrey, we'll give you another 1 year. When everybody else is out with these multiple year deals and stuff like that, with what he's working with, I would be insulted if they came at me with a 1 year deal again.
Yeah, you got to be ready to walk.
That might be what they're going to do, but I'm fearing though. At the end of the line, they're going to need someone to scapegoat with this, and he's he's the sacrificial lamb. Your manager goes first. The general manager's not going to fire himself, right? So before it comes from up
I was
top,
thinking about firing myself, but I decided to call this press conference to let Tori go.
Real quick, grade for the first half for the Diamondbacks.
C minus.
I was right there with you. How about you?
Yeah.
Okay,
There
I'm
we
going
go.
to C minus.
There we go.
Hey, we're going to take this break. We're going to have Desmond Johnson join us next. We'll get into a little
Why you pointing?
make him feel, because I felt like we're gonna have Desmond Johnson. Hope you're having a great weekend so far, folks. This is Easy Jay and Aaron coming live from the KDUS State Studio. Easy Sports Talk. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. I'll be back after this.
You can.
I'll point at who I want to point at. And you can extend Desmond.
Without last night.
Yes, sir.
See, girl.
Thank you. Man, welcome back to the East Talk. Every time that song comes on, you think about that video, boy. Hey, this segment right here is brought to you by
E3 Cryo. The goal at E3 Cryo and Wellness Center is to enlighten and empower the community in better understanding the human body the body's self-healing capabilities. Some of the amazing benefits of their cutting-edge technologies include pain management, improved joint function, immune support, sleep improvement, and so much more. For more information, e3cryo.com. That's E, the number 3cryo.com, or call them at 602-899-2796, or just visit their Phoenix location at 13615 North 35th Avenue, Suite number 2. That's 35th Avenue in Thunderbird.
And we're going to jump right after the Easy Sports Talk line. Been looking forward to talking to this gentleman, Mr. Desmond Johnson, owner, producer, creator at the Tobacco Sports Radio.com, and also a member of the Believe family covering the Carolina Panthers. Desmond, thanks for joining us, good brother. Oh, we're doing good out here. It's hot out here, bro. It's hot. It's 115 today, so we staying inside. I know you got a little better weather over there in Carolina, but first off, appreciate you jumping on with us, man. One of the things we want to talk about real quick, you guys made an acquisition doing it. Javon and I took a couple weeks off, jump back, right when we take the time off, all of a sudden Baker Mayfield's being traded over from Cleveland, and the Panthers are only paying roughly almost $5 million of his salary. Browns are taking the other 10.5. But your thoughts on the acquisition, and do you consider Baker a potential franchise quarterback, or is he a bridge guy in your opinion?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Combined. Mm-hmm.
So again, we have Desmond Johnson here on the Easy Sports Talk Show hotline. So you mentioned this. So kind of salaries aside, you would think that Baker, not as if he doesn't always have a chip on the shoulder, but would have a chip on the shoulder where you traded me for a 5th rounder. That has to be, because when you think about it, I mean, Baker is more talented, right, than the other quarterbacks in the room, or would you disagree with that? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Along that
Along
line,
that,
Desmond, and I totally agree with you. There were quarterbacks that I would run to a brick wall for just because, they showed us and their leadership. And with Baker, it's kind of a mixed bag. He's got that chip on his shoulder. Sometimes the chip is too big. What Baker? I'm asking you two questions here. What Baker do you really expect to see and want to see? Do you want to see that big chip on the shoulder, or do you want to see him come in humble and nose to the ground, ready to work? And then Matt Rule, was he on board for this trade, or was it kind of force fed on him?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So, what about a minute and a half left? Tell us your outlook on the season, and then tell everybody how they can follow you, Desmond. Wow. Okay. Hmm.
Wow. Wow. Oh yeah. All right. We're gonna be seeing you this season. So let's do this. Tell everybody how they can follow you, and we'll plan on revisiting because I forgot they were on the schedule this year. How can everybody follow you, Desmond? Yes, sir.
Sir, sir.
Hey, keep up the great work, man. We'll be in touch soon. Appreciate you jumping on with us, brother.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Desmond Johnson. Hey, we're gonna take this break, wrap things up. We got a whole bunch of good stuff to talk about to
Hey,
finish up here.
It is about to wrap
Yeah,
up.
we're about to wrap up. Be back after these messages, folks.
Are you kidding?
Hey. And welcome back. Welcome back. Segment of the Easy Show. This is going to be a quick one. We ran a little over that last one.
Yep.
Let's get this in real quick. I want to thank all of our partners of the show. Thank you, Desmond Johnson, for jumping on with us for a little bit there. Brother Hans Schatz and Lonnie Schatz of Clorox and Beverage Company. Mike Milano and the family of Milano Music. Frank Sturpey and the Imagine Schools of Arizona family and the Above Park Network. Coach D'Alicio with the Varsity Sports Show. Colton Mero, EIC Agency. Cam Rogers, Network Smith. E3 Cryo and Wellness Center, Majestic Services, let Majestic Services come out, do your dirty work. Casual Sports Network, Brother Earl, Brother Sean, Customers First Solutions, Mark Twain Beaver at True Narrative Media, and thank you, Aaron, for a great show. Always good to be in here with you. And then, real quick, we got just a few minutes left.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you, brothers, you and Aaron, about the Avengers. I got it in. I told Aaron well, first off, we had a couple. Just give a couple. RIP James Conn.
Yes.
We lost him at 82 over the break, and then Tony Sirico, I think that's how you name it. Sirico. He was from the Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos. He was 79. I didn't realize he was that old, But yeah, so we lost two good men over the break. RIP. And then, like I said, we only got a few minutes. We're kind of not necessarily hurry, but we definitely. I wanted to have this conversation with you guys. I had the opportunity to watch Infinity War and Endgame, and I told you over the break because I talked to you right after I watched them. Aaron and Strowman, I was sobbing like a little baby. I'm sitting there. You watch, you're trying to be hard and everything, right? At the end of Endgame. Bruh, I had multiple tissues, snotty nose, just running, and I was just like, it got me, man. I enjoyed it. So you talking about I was into it, and then I had a surprise for both of you. Yeah. I'm so into it, Aaron. I went and filled out my Marvel's movie list. Because there's a total, thanks to Mark Twain, he had sent me that link that showed me like how do you watch them from start to finish, all the way from Captain America, Captain Marvel, blah, blah, blah. I went out and filled it out. I had 11 of them. I needed 12. I went out and got all 12 of them. Yes, that was I'm fully engaged now. I'm fully engaged. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did them back-to-back days. I watched one and then watch the other like that following day. Yeah. They were just, I would honestly Endgame because the action and the story. Here's the thing: Endgame started off, and you kind of into it. And there wasn't a lot of action in the beginning. There was a lot of storytelling, trying to figure out what we're going. Then all of a sudden, the war at the end, bruh. And I got the surround sound going. So I had stuff shaking in the house. I had it up, and then I felt like I was at the theater getting it in. And then when everything happened to Iron Man at the end, bro,
man,
that's the part.
He said that. Yeah,
man,
boom.
I was mad at you two for not warning me ahead of time, so I could be prepared for that. I'm sitting there reaching for the tissues and telling him to the point where I was like, man, forget it, just let it go.
Oh man, because you're invested in those characters, and you have to do a good job of developing a story. The writers have to get a lot of credit for that, because if you don't care about the character, then when that happens, you're just like, whatever, all right, keep it moving. But yeah, at the end of what Infinity War.
Yeah.
That's why when my son, I looked over my son. My son had a tear in his eye. I said, "Man, it got me, and you more invested in me." And that's good storytelling, good pacing, and that all plays a role.
And I will say, yeah. And one of the things was I was trying to figure out, like all the characters now. I'm so interested. I'm so interested in going back and seeing it because he was a true character. I mean, the way they played him is like, wow, I was so interested. I want to see his story. Captain America, how the thing ends with him at the end. I was just, man, I'm telling you.
The illest thing to me was at the end of the end of Infinity War. So where I think it was Black Widow, she's okay. Well, so this has happened. Well, the people, if he ain't seen it now, you ain't never seen it. But so when he has died, and then so Thanos comes and says, He's talking to her. She's crying. He says, "Yeah, don't worry about it." She's, "Zhoop." Oh, and I said, "Oh my God!" He just reversed everything, and you still lost.
Yeah.
I wish I could just go back and relive watching that for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I'm living vicariously through you.
Man, you talking about getting it in. I was, like I said, and I could not wait. I was like, oh, God, I got 2 weeks before we're back on the air. I was and I was so close to texting you too. I was like, I'm going to save this. But yes, I am fully invested, loved every bit of the Avengers movies, and I'm looking forward to all the others.
No, I got to ask this though. So Thanos is there with what is his daughter's name?
Gamora.
Yeah. So he's there, and she says, well, and the death says, you have to. Oh, you'll never do that. And he says, and he looks at her. And I said, no, dog, you're not. And then he just, all right, I got to get the stone.
Hey,
Man.
gotta get the stone, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for indulging us in that talk, everybody out there. I hope you haven't seen the movies, go get them. You got to get into it. And once again, thank you, Aaron, for a great time here in the studio. Thank all our listeners for hanging out with us on this Saturday. Hope you have a great finish to your weekend, and we will be back next week on remote. We're actually at Phoenix Strange Brew. 43434 Westville, be in Glendale. So
And you can go to
hang out with us. Yeah.
easysportstalk.com. We'll have that up there, and we'll have it on the Facebook
Absolutely.
page.
Great show. Hope you have a great finish to your weekend as I made it out to this heat. Try to stay as cool as possible. Until next week, be easy out there, everybody. Hit them one more time, Jay. Thanks again, Aaron.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
man. Dun, 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 dun. That's how you do it.